right, today we have a very special guest from the B3 Iwate Big Bulls. We have Mr. Ryuji Aoki. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much. You must be busy. And today I want to ask you a bunch of questions to get to know more about you. And I definitely want to hear about your background. You know, you lived in the States and whatnot. But before we get into that, there's one thing I want to talk about, which is 46 points.
All right.
I saw you drop 46 points. I think it was a week back, right? Last
Yeah,
week, 2 weeks ago?
I would say 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
It
ago.
was against Shizuoka Veltex. It was at their place. And the game before, we lost by almost 15, 20 points, and I knew that we couldn't have two losing streaks. So I just came out. I just did whatever I needed to do to get that win. And whether that was 46 points, it didn't matter. We were going to get that win. So
I see. So you're focused on the win. You're focused on the win. You just did what you had to do. And that was dropping 46 points.
Yeah, exactly.
That is...
I mean, that my shooting is my biggest asset. And so I just wanted to be aggressive from the jump. Mm-hmm. And I saw a few go in, and so I just kept being aggressive. So
a few resulted in, I think, 12 overall was the three. No?
Yeah.
And it was a new record, right?
Threes.
For
league? Yeah. So most 3 points made in a game by a Japanese player. And most points in a game by a Japanese player. So
dang, that is impressive. And the craziest thing to me is that you did it in 28 minutes, right?
28 minutes, yeah.
That is crazy.
I was kind of surprised myself that I only played 28 minutes. I actually played the whole 10 minutes in the first quarter, and they sat me out for the whole second quarter. So I actually told Robert Dozier during halftime, like, I'm pretty cool now. Like I'm cooled down. Like I was on the bench too much. But then, I came out third quarter. I was still kind of cold, but my first shot went in. So and it just I think it was I only made two threes in the first half. So 10 threes in the second. So yeah, it worked out fine.
I see. No, yeah, definitely worked out fine. Better than fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I saw that on Instagram and I was like, whoa, this is the guy I'm interviewing next week. So that's very cool. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you might, score even more in the future, break your own record. Right?
Definitely, man.
I mean, you only played 28 minutes, so if you play more than 30 or 35,
Yeah.
Get that.
Definitely
50.
have a chance, yeah.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, 50.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that. All right. Now let's get into your childhood. Where were you born? Where were you raised? Can you give us like a quick background on your childhood?
Yeah. I was born in IG. Mm-hmm. That's where my parents are from. But about 2 weeks later, we moved to I want to say Toda. No, Ibaraki, Tsukuba.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I was 3, we moved to Todashi in Saitama.
Oh,
and that's
really?
Yeah. And I was there for about 4 years until I was 7 years old. And when I was 7, we moved to Chicago with the whole family, my 2 parents and my sister, my older sister. And we grew up there. And then after I graduated high school in Chicago, I went to a school in Indiana where I continued my basketball career. And after I graduated, I moved to I got an offer from Shinshu, so I moved back to Japan in Nagano.
Yeah, cool. Do you remember when you moved from Japan to the US when you were 7?
I do. Yeah, the first my dad. Well, it was because of my dad's job required him to go for a couple of years. He sat the whole family down and told us that he had to go to the U.S. And we had a decision to make whether if he was going to go by himself or whether we were all going to go. And I wanted to, or my mom and I wanted to go because I thought it was a really cool experience. And my sister started crying because she didn't want to leave her parents or leave her friends. But yeah, we decided to move as a family, and that's when, you know, I told my friends, and my friends started crying. They actually had a party for me, like a
farewell party.
Yeah. They give me letters and stuff, and you know, it was a fun time. But yeah, that's how it went. I was only a second grader, so you know, there's not much you know, relationship that you build. My sister was in 5th or 6th grade, so she had a little bit more time with her friends. So
I see.
Yeah.
How was the transition after you moved to Chicago? Was there anything that you found difficult? Any things that you know, kind of were surprised by?
Well, I couldn't speak any English at first. The only thing I could say was yes, no, thank you, hi. So, you know, they would ask me a lot of questions, and then I would just kind of randomly answer yes or no. But you know, second graders, they're you know, cute little fun guys. So they you know, they try to, you know, get me involved in a lot of things. You know, recess time, you know, play, you know, tag and stuff. So it was hard at first. Like I went to, instead of going to normal classes, I went to ESL, which is like classes for kids that can't speak English. Right. So I was in a small group for most of the day. But yeah, that continued for about 2-3 years, and then when I was able to talk and take classes in English, that's when I went back to my normal class with everybody else. It was in about 5th grade. So
yeah, but I mean, you're young, so I'm sure you picked English up pretty quickly, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot quicker than my sister, who's a little bit older. Yeah,
it's so important for language to learn at an early age. So you definitely probably picked up quicker than your older siblings. Yeah. How about like culture wise, or like food wise? Anything that you kind of remember, like, oh shoot, this is America, you know?
Yeah. One of the first things we had was Panda Express. And we were just surprised by the sheer size of the food, right? The portioning, and also the flavor. You know, it was like pretty much like karage with a bunch of like sweet and sour sauce, you know, dipped into it, and it was way too much for us, because, you know, Japan, it's a little bit, you know, a little bit more calmer on the taste, you know.
Definitely.
And then there you got this whole plate full of orange chicken and this chow mein.
Yeah.
And
that greasy fried rice. And
yeah.
Yeah.
In the culture, you know, everything was new. You know, it's I didn't really know much, you know, in terms of like minorities and, you know, race and stuff like that, not until when I got older. So that's not something that I really was thinking about at, you know, in elementary school.
Makes sense. Now you mentioned race. How was kind of, you know, what kind of people were around your area, like in terms of Asian, Black, white, Hispanic?
Very diverse. You can, you know, white people, Black people, you know, Latinos, Asians, pretty diverse, but mostly, you know, white people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you live in the city, or was it kind of the suburbs of Chicago?
I lived in the suburbs of Chicago, on the northwest side. Yeah, like it's called Lincolnshire. So it's pretty quiet, not in the city.
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty chill. Yep.
Okay. I see. So does that mean you grew up a Bulls fan?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I used to go to a lot of playoff games against the Pistons
Okay.
back when Ben Gordon and Chauncey Billups was in the Pistons, and Joakim Noah. Yeah, I used
Oh,
to go there a lot.
so did you grow up watching D Rose? Was that kind of the era, or was it before that?
Yeah, before that, and also when Derrick Rose
D
came
Rose?
to, yeah, it
Okay,
went,
okay.
yeah. But then after Derrick Rose got traded, that's when I didn't really follow the Bulls anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of like that with pretty much the whole city,
Right.
because we loved Derrick Rose. He was from Chicago, and after that, they just kind of went on a downhill as a team. So
Yeah, that's true. It's unfortunate. I mean, Zach LaVine is trying to get, is getting better and better this year. But
oh yeah,
yeah, the love for Derrick Rose from people from Chicago is crazy. Even after he gets traded to different teams, I think the love is still there, which is very
yeah,
interesting to me.
definitely. I think one, because he's from Chicago,
Right.
but also I think his character, everything that he's been through, and
Mhm.
the fact that he's still on the court is, I think, just a testament to his character and his work ethic.
I think so.
Everybody's rooting for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, he has a great story, and yeah, I think his mindset and his personality is amazing as well. So it's easy to cheer for him. I think it's natural that he has a lot of fans. Now going back to your childhood, when did you start playing basketball? At what age?
For fun, just started playing in first grade in Japan.
Oh, okay.
But competitively, I would say in middle school. I think seventh grade or eighth grade is when I started playing in travel teams.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's when I started playing competitively.
Okay. So travel team was the first team that you played on competitively?
Yes. And that's a funny story too. I tried out for two local teams
Hmm.
in seventh grade, and I got cut from both tryouts.
Mm.
And all my friends got made one of those two teams, and and that was something that was a motivating factor to try to get in the next year.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so I was really bad
Mhm.
when I was little.
Okay.
To
I
say
mean,
the
you
least.
didn't play, so right? You never played, so
Yeah,
you didn't play for the middle school team? Was there a middle school team?
there was a middle school team. There were two teams, so probably like 20, 30 kids would make the team. So I made that team, but it was a
Okay.
joke, I would say.
Understand.
Yeah.
I see. And then yeah, so that's where you started. You start playing competitively travel team, and then you move on to high school, right?
Hmm.
You played 4 years in high school.
I played 4 years, and yep.
What was the breakdown of that? How many years did you play varsity, JV,
Okay.
freshman, whatever?
So we had a freshman, sophomore,
Mhm.
JV, and varsity team. I played freshman team the freshman year, sophomore team the sophomore year, and JV/varsity my junior year, and then finally started on varsity my senior year. So it's actually not very common. A lot of players that go on to play in college would move up. But I wasn't at like that at all. I only started my senior year. And one of that reason was it was a good, a very competitive school. We ended up winning the state championship my junior year. But yeah, I would say a late bloomer. I still wasn't very good freshman, sophomore. So yeah, that's my breakdown.
I see. I mean, you started kind of late, right? You started in seventh, eighth grade. So, I mean, you're still in kind of the developmental period, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
What was your motivation and, how did you push yourself to work hard to get to where you wanted to be?
My motivation came after I got cut from those two teams. I told myself if I wanted to keep playing basketball, I had to change something. I had to work hard. And I didn't know what work hard meant until around seventh or eighth grade when I used to run cross country, and my mom would come watch the game or watch the meets, watch me run, and I would used to be like 10th or 11th, but after we have a meet every single week, and I would drop down in the standings every week. I would be like 14th the next, 16th the next, and then my mom told me, hey, well, how come you practicing every day, you're running every day, and you're going to meets, but you keep having a slower time. I mean, like if you work hard, you're supposed to get better at things. And I'm like, oh, is that how it works? that was literally my epiphany moment. Like, if you work at something, you get better. And as weird as that might sound, that was really my turning point of like, oh, if I practice, I might get better. And so after that, I would wake up at like 6 a.m., work on dribbling drills, shooting in my driveway for an hour, 2 hours before I went to school every single day. And after I came back from school, I would do my homework. And after I'm done with that, get back on the driveway, just keep practicing until the sun went down. And so I think that's when I started getting better, is when I actually started putting time in and working on my game.
I see. Oh, that's interesting though, that it clicked, that one sentence or that one thing that your mom said really clicked in you, and that kind of really helped you put in the work, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And my thing was like, I didn't even know if I was going to make the varsity team. Like, I was only thinking about playing time on the freshman team. Was I going to even make the sophomore B team? That I had not low expectations, but like, I didn't think that I was a very good player, and I just wanted to make the team, the next team. And so that was the thing. I never imagined that I would be on a state championship team or start on varsity. I actually didn't have that vision until it actually happened. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming that's how competitive your school was too. But that's interesting that you didn't really have that future vision, or that 4-year span vision. Is more really about that time being, right? So that's really interesting. So that probably means that you weren't even thinking about professional basketball or even college basketball when you're a freshman or sophomore, right?
Not at all. I started thinking about college basketball junior year, when I started getting calls from colleges. So junior year is when I started, oh, maybe I can play in college.
I see.
Yeah.
And I know you went to a D3 school, right? And you said Indiana, I think. What was your deciding factor for the school that you went to?
I would say the combination of both academics and the athletic competition. My high school was very competitive in sports and in academics. Everybody was taking multiple AP classes. If you weren't taking like 2 or 3, you were considered like dumb. That's how competitive it was.
Okay.
And it was kind of that competitive nature in academics that made me kind of push towards a good academic school, and knowing that I can fall back on it if something doesn't work out. So I thought Rose Hallman, an engineering school, was the best option for me. Looking back on it, you know, I'm not really using my engineering degree, so I would have.
Right.
But right, you never know what happens. So.
Right. I mean, you obviously you want to have a long professional basketball career, but that's probably going to eventually end, at 40 or wherever. So maybe after that, right?
Right. But yeah, after spending 3 years in an engineering school, I knew that engineering was not the thing I wanted to do.
No?
No.
I mean, you got to try it out to even know if you want to do it or not. So, I mean,
yeah,
right?
That's true. And I got another funny story. I had an internship for about 2-3 months at kind of like a research lab company, and I just hated every single minute of it. And that's why I was like, I can't work in an office 9 to 5. That's not my thing.
Yeah. Before I talk, I want to know more about how you decided to go pro in Japan. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about your college, your 3 years of college. I was reading some articles about you on Google before we did this interview, and I think it said that you had a 3.9 GPA.
I did.
3.9 GPA.
3.9
while
GPA.
Playing D3 basketball. And also you mentioned that you did some intern stuff, right? How did you manage your time? Like 3.9 GPA is ridiculously good. Like my GPA was like 3.4. I didn't even play, college sports or anything.
Yeah. How did I manage my time? I just stuck to my priorities. Basketball and academics was my top priorities, and all the fun things that other students did just wasn't in my schedule. That's as easy as I can put it. Like I had the discipline to not go to parties, not hang out with friends. And if I had the time, I would either be studying, doing homework, or on the basketball court with a shooting gun working on my game. That's how I was spending 3 years in college. Yeah.
Dang. And that's it, right? So that's hard though. That's hard. Like you really need discipline to not go to these parties, because you see college kids having so much fun, even on the internet and social media. So that's a lot of discipline.
Yeah, I knew that. I had to do something, and that motivation came from my teammate in high school, Jalen Brunson, who plays in the NBA right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's a year older than me, but he has the hardest work ethic I've ever seen. And I would see him, how hard he works during practice, and also how hard he works after practice on his own, working on his game. And that seeing that just stuck with me, and knowing that if he's where he's at and he's working that hard, I have no excuse to not work as hard at the level that I'm at. And that was my whole mentality, and I still have that mentality to this day.
Dang, interesting. Yeah. So getting, inspiration from current NBA player. I mean, I think, that's seeing that, I guess, definitely will push you to do that. But again, I think it's still, I'm sure you had other teammates who saw that, but really didn't make that their own. So I think that's huge props to you on doing that. Now, at what point did you decide to go or decide to think about professional ball? Like what year in college, and what was your kind of situation when doing that?
Freshman year in college, I saw that the B.LEAGUE was kind of starting, and heard that in 2020 the Olympics was going to be held in Japan, and that the basketball national team had the opportunity to play in Japan at the Olympics. And that kind of whole thing, I was like, maybe one day I could play at that level. And that was kind of the thing that so okay, I want to play in the pros. I love the game. There's nothing I would rather do. And playing at that high level and in the country that I was born in, and something that is something that was really intriguing to me. And so freshman year.
Freshman year, okay.
Mhm.
And what was the process of after that? So after you decided, hey, I want to go play professional in Japan, what did you do to get there? Recruiting or talking to people, whatnot.
Well, I talked to the coach saying what I wanted to do, and he was very supportive. He actually reached out to a few people that he knew that might help me in the process. But mainly just but there weren't a lot of connections. A D3 school in Indiana,
Right.
In Japan, there's not a lot of connections. So I just put my head down and worked, and I only started getting contacts with some of the coaches in Japan when there was an article on the Yahoo News about me getting academic All-American. That's when the contacts people started contacting me from the B.LEAGUE. So yeah.
I see. So you just worked, and you just worked and worked until they started contacting you.
Yeah, exactly. My whole mentality was I kept telling myself, be so good that they can't ignore you. That was my thing. A tiny little city in Indiana, Terre Haute, a school, 2,000 people, students. The odds are against me. Like who's gonna know about me, right? But I just knew that if I kept working, that the opportunity is gonna come, and I just wanted to maximize that opportunity by doing my work in the classroom and on the court. And so if I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have gotten the academic All-American award, meaning maybe I wouldn't have gotten that article. So maybe the coaches that contacted me wouldn't have contacted me. So, so academics is important, I guess.
So wait, what is the academic All-American? What do you have to do to get that honor?
So it's for student athletes that both exceed in the classroom and on the court.
I see. Okay. Yeah, hearing you talk about that, you make it sound like, oh man, I was working and I just, stayed focused on it, but that's so hard to do. Like believing yourself and, believing that your work will pay off is something I think it's hardest for everybody to do. But the fact that you're able to do that is really impressive. And, it definitely makes sense how you're able to make professional ball. So definitely respect you on that. Yeah. Going into you actually moving back to Japan and starting your professional career over here. You were born in Japan, moved to the US, lived there for, probably 10, 13, or probably around 12, 13 years-ish. And then you came back to Japan, right? How was that transition? Like culturally, it's kind of like a reverse kind of situation, but
It was so difficult. Man, just how you interact with people is so different. How they see you is so different. The senpai kohai thing is so different. Man, like it was so different. I got self-conscious of like, am I doing this right? Am I saying this right? Constantly. And that's where I kind of lost myself. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to act in front of people, and that kind of showed on the court as well. I was not confident. I was not sure of what I needed to do, and so so it took a hard toll on me my first year to get used to how to interact with people, like kizukai, and it was tough. Yeah.
I totally understand you. I mean, for me, it's just at a regular company, but I totally understand your struggles on that. And I think what makes it hard, I talked to Lewis about this as well, but the fact that we know a little bit about the senpai kohai thing and the kizukai thing because we are Japanese, I think makes it even harder for us. Because I feel like if we don't know anything, there's no expectations. But for us, the fact that our parents have that culture in them, and we know a little bit about that. I think we expect ourselves to kind of live up to that as well. So
Yeah, definitely agree. Like kind of like overthinking it,
Right.
over compensating it. Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I totally agree.
yeah. So me too. Like I've definitely struggled with that as well, and I'm starting to kind of just try to be myself recently, but it's definitely something that is hard. And you said it showed on the court too, right? So you must have had a very frustrating season then last year.
Very frustrating. Not because of anybody else or the team. It's because of me. And my, I guess, lack of experience. But like I mean, I was also dealing with injuries, coming off an injury, and so there was also that physical aspect, and also that culture aspect, but also new playing style, new teammates, different competitive level. So all that change at one time, just kind of made me lose focus of what I needed to do, and what type of player I was. So yeah, it was just a combination of everything that came in, and I just couldn't handle that in the best way possible. So yeah, that just kind of led to my lack of performance
I see.
last year.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, from our end, or I mean, the viewers end, all we see is you guys playing on the court, but behind that, you guys have so much you guys have to deal with. So, yeah, it's great to hear that you had those difficulties. But now, I know you switched teams from I think their Shinshu Brave Warriors were B2 last year, right? And then you switched to a B3 team. How was that transition?
The transition was a lot smoother than last year, for sure. Knowing that culture aspect, but also it was a much younger team, mostly in their 20s, and the head coach and the assistant coach were in their 20s as well. So that was a little bit easier in that terms. And yeah, I don't want to get too deep into that, but a lot of it was much easier in a lot of ways.
Much easier. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
much easier in a lot of ways.
I mean, it seems like it was a good move for you. I think you're averaging around 12 points this year, right? And then obviously you had that big performance. And this year, are you feeling like you're able to kind of play the way you want to, be more of yourself this year?
Definitely. Mentally, I'm in a very good place. Kind of when I was back in the U.S., and in my teammates, I know how to interact with them, and and coach has a good style of kind of letting us play a little bit, which is good for me, and kind of the way I play. So it's going very good.
I see.
Going very good.
When you say you are able to interact with your teammates more naturally, did you change something about yourself, or the way you think? Or is it just because you have good teammates around you right now?
I think the way I think and the way I interact is changed a little bit. Knowing that if I the way I talk to the import players from the US, it's much different than how I talk to the Japanese players, Japanese teammates, and that's because the way you talk, like I think the easiest thing is like to explain it is kind of like American jokes are kind of, you kind of diss people in a way, right? But and they see that, roasting, and that's normal, right? It's not really, it's, I guess, a little bit offensive, but that's part of the language, that's part of the culture. But if I did that same kind of jokes to my Japanese players, then some people take it personal, some think it's not like kohai, like, why is the kohai trying to make jokes like that, some players get it, but it's not everybody. So I now know how to talk to people in a certain way because of how they will take it, depending on if they're Japanese or American players. So I think I just know how to talk to them.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So I mean, that definitely came with the 1 year experience that you had in the Brave Warriors, I'm assuming. I see. How about the future? What are your vision? Maybe 1 year span, 3 year span, 5 year span, 10 year span, whatever. What do you see yourself doing, or what do you want to see yourself doing in the next however years for professional basketball?
I want to be one of the best players.
Oh.
Period.
Okay.
Period. In this league, that's it. Like, I don't know when that will be. I still got so much more work that I need to put in, so much aspects of my game that I got to work on. Knowing that I'm in the B3 league right now, and that there's so much more better talent and skilled players at the next level. Knowing that, I believe that if I just continue to work, then I don't see why. I really don't. So yeah.
I see. You're just gonna put in the work till you get there.
Yep.
That's it.
I
like it. Now, I do also want to ask you some personal questions. I don't want to say personal, but more about you as a person off the court. What do you like to do other than basketball, or do you even do stuff other than basketball right now?
Not a lot. Especially during the season, outside or in the off season, I like to go fishing. I sometimes like to draw. I like to play my trumpet. I got a lot of, I was in the band, marching band, and concert band, middle school and high school. So I did a bunch of weird stuff, man.
You were in the marching band. Wow.
Yeah, all 4 years. High school football games, and during halftime, I'll be out there, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. So in the fall, you're doing marching band for the football team, and in the winter, you're playing basketball.
Yeah.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah. And people will make fun of me, like, why are you playing basketball, but you're still out there, like, with your trumpet, like, and I would see all the people in the student section, having fun, talking to girls and stuff, and I'll be out there just playing my trumpet, man. And that's something, I mean, and I was like that my whole life. Like, I was different, and I kind of enjoyed being different, not doing something that everybody was doing. So yeah,
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
but you still play that trumpet once in a while.
Once in a while.
I see. So fishing, drawing, trumpet, fishing. Is there a place you can fish close to where you live?
Yeah, I got a couple of rivers that I went to, and I will catch them. I'll catch some fish and I'll cook them.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, so you know how to cut it up and everything.
Yeah. Oh no, I just put the whole thing in. I just wash it, clean it, and put the whole thing in the frying pan. And it's
you just put the whole thing in there?
Yeah.
You don't even cut out like the inside?
I clean the inside.
Okay.
I clean the inside, get the scales out.
Okay.
and just put it in there, man.
I see. You fry it?
Yes.
Deep fry?
No, sometimes what's it? Musu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You fish and then you eat the fish that you catch. That's sounds fun. I see. How about food wise, what's your favorite food?
Sushi.
Oh, sushi. Okay.
Yep.
That's easily number one.
Easily number one, or yakiniku.
Yakiniku. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The two
definitely
mainstream ones.
Big difference between sushi here and sushi in the US?
That's a good question. Depending on the place. Depending on the place for sure. In Terre Haute, Indiana, it was trash. But in Chicago, there were pretty good seafood places. There were all-you-can-eat sushi place for $20, and that was one of the best quality fish there in the US. So I kind of missed that all-you-can-eat for $20, man. And it was a good quality.
Like do you miss the rolls?
Oh yes, the rolls, man.
See, that's
yes, they should have that more here.
They should. I mean, I'm not sure if I would consider it sushi. Well, I guess it's considered sushi. But it's not the same traditional sushi. But I think it's it's good in its own aspect. Like sometimes they have. I'm not sure if you like Taco Bell, but like there's Mexican food and there's Taco Bell. Like there's Chinese food and there's Panda Express. It's two different things, but that rolls in the US is fire, right?
It's different, man. Like the avocados and the eel, man, the eggs and oh man, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, people in Japan, if you're whoever's watching this, if you go to the US, you should try out some rolls. I mean, I think you'll enjoy it.
Definitely.
How about other food that you miss from back in the States?
Chipotle.
Okay. I mean, that's the same answer Lewis gave me. Lewis told me Mexican food and Chipotle.
Yeah, Chipotle. Period, bro.
That's it? How often do you eat Chipotle back in the US?
At least once a week.
Once a week?
At least once a week.
They don't have anything similar to that in Japan or where you live?
In Iwate, there's really not a lot of Mexican food in general.
No.
The one thing that frustrates me a lot is how they don't have guacamole and tortillas at like at the supermarkets. That's just they're sleeping. They're sleeping on Mexican food. Like
they are.
It's crazy, man.
It is. I mean, I'm lucky I live in Tokyo, so I do have there are some spots.
Okay.
I'm assuming if you go to Iwate or outside of Tokyo or Osaka, I'm sure there's like none, right? Do you know, is there Kaldi? Kaldi is like a supermarket, right?
Yeah.
Do they have that in Iwate?
They do.
I mean, they have tortillas there, right?
I guess, they do. But it's pretty far from where I live, so.
Yeah. Okay.
They gotta sell them at every single supermarket.
Right.
They have to.
They should. They should. Yeah.
Yeah, it's potato chips and it's tortillas.
Right.
They're gonna make a lot of money if you do, man.
I agree with you. we have to get Chipotle out here.
Yes.
Chipotle. I mean, you can get a balance of protein, fats, and carbs, and and it's good.
Yes, it's so good. And I bet you they're gonna give you the smallest portions though.
They probably are.
In Japan.
They probably are. They're not gonna let you do that. Hey, can you put more lettuce on that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely not.
Cool. How about favorite place in Japan? I'm sure you visited different places being a professional. I'm sure you probably like where you live in Iwate because that's kind of your home right now, but how about different places you visited? What's a place that you enjoyed?
I like Karuizawa.
Oh, so that's
in Nagano.
Your old team, right? Was close to Karuizawa?
Yeah. It was like a 20-minute train ride, and I loved there was an outlet mall that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of good shops there, and good views, and stuff like that. I haven't really went to, visited many other places.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Okinawa, I guess last year preseason game. That was like a different country for me.
Right.
Different vibe. I liked it though. Yeah, that's about it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe from now on, I mean, you're probably going to travel to more places as you go on with your professional career. So I'm sure it'll expand. But Karuizawa is definitely a great place for American listeners. If you guys are listening, Karuizawa is a beautiful area. A lot of nature. I think in the winter you can snowboard, you can ski.
Oh yeah.
Right. And just a great vibe. People who watch Terrace House, Terrace House was have you watched Terrace House?
Oh yeah, I love it, man.
Oh yeah, you watched Terrace House?
I loved it.
Okay. I mean, it was an unfortunate ending, but yeah, Terrace House in Karuizawa was pretty lit.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think we've gone around for about 15 minutes now, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But in the end, before we close, I know I only have 200 subscribers right now, but hopefully we'll get more viewers. Is there anything that you want to say, you want to plug? Anything that you want to share with whoever's watching?
Follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
Ryuji Aoki 13. Well, thank you for watching. I'm gonna be on the come up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch out for this guy. He's gonna be the best player in the B.LEAGUE in a few years, right? So definitely follow him on Instagram. I'll put that Instagram link or the Instagram handle below, so everybody follow that.
Appreciate it.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, man. It was great. I simply enjoyed talking with you and kind of getting to know your story.
I had a great time as well.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, and definitely want to go watch. I still haven't watched a B.LEAGUE game yet, I think. So I have to go watch. If you ever play in Tokyo or in the Kanto area, I'll see if I can go watch you play.
All
right, man. Thank you. And everybody, thank you for watching. It was great. So if you like, please click the like button, comments, anything. Please follow Ryuji's Instagram. And see you guys next time. I also have an ending, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Oh, can you do it with me?
For sure.
You know how they have that little S where you can make with 3 fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what my channel is called Stay Ballin. So everybody, please stay safe and stay ballin.
Stay ballin.